Okay. So it was just pointed out to me that every single song has a theme. It's all about the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I'm not talking about the sun.
Okay,
So-
just so you know. That's okay.
But in 1984, Tina Turner had a real hit song entitled What's Love Got to Do with It? And we say everything, right? Everything. So this month we've been talking about luck, and so we're changing that to what's luck got to do with it? What do you think?
Nothing.
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 And we're going to talk about that because we're going to dispel some myths. Hopefully, anyway. So we have so many common sayings in our life. We're brought up with them as children. You know, the luck of the draw. This is my lucky day. Or, this is a great one. This is my unlucky day. Every day seems to fall like this. You know, have you ever met anyone that walks around with that unluckiness? Or how about this one? He got a lucky break. And there are many others. Anybody know any? Yell them out.
Not for bad.
What's that?
The luck of the Irish.
The luck of the, oh, that was last week. We did that one. The luck of the Irish.
He's got a good one over there.
If
But-
not for bad luck, no luck.
Look.
Oh, yeah. If not for bad luck, and I have no luck at all. Really? Can you imagine living life like that?
Yes.
Not in this community. We're here, at least on Sunday mornings, to say no way. So, you really lucked out is another phrase we often use, right? And of course, we hear it when a random, really good opportunity or experience takes place. Wow, you really lucked out. Last week I talked about luck out or conscious creation. I prefer to consciously create my life. Even though stuff happens in my life, I consciously create how I'm going to respond to those situations and those circumstances. And I'll tell you what, if you stay in these spiritual truths that we teach here, and you stay in integrity, and you stay aligned with the source of all good, you're not going to go wrong. And the outcome is going to work for your highest and very best good. No matter what it looks like, I don't care what it looks like. Because that's what we believe here. And so it sure beats depending on luck to live my life. So my question is here, what does scientific research have to do with it, right? There is a book, which kind of blew my mind, on luck, a book on luck. So I want to lay out a little spiritual groundwork this morning. Someone pretty important gave us this wise counsel, which was to be in this world, but not be of it. To be in this world, but not be of this world. And that was the Master Teacher Jesus. Be in this world, but not. What does that mean? Well, we can't go back and find him and ask him. So we interpret things, right? Every religion interprets all kinds of scholarly works and stuff. So we can interpret it for ourselves. And that's what we're going to do this morning. To be in this world, this is what what I'm deducing from this, to be in this world means to acknowledge that we live in a world of physicality. Do we not? We have feelings, we have emotions, we have all kinds of challenges, accomplishments, all kinds of stuff. That's being in the world. That's being in the world. And in that world of physicality, there is polarity. You have up and down. You have right or left, in and out, good and bad, happiness, sadness, success, failure. love, hate, all of those things we have in our world. Am I right here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just want to make sure you're with me. So this list can go on and on. We live in a dualistic world. We believe in oneness here, but we do live in a dualistic world. And that's all the physical world. And until we evolve to a place where we can absolutely connect with the divine all the time, which I haven't reached yet. So if anyone has, we need you to do a workshop and teach a couple of classes to it, because I'm still working on that one. Until we do. But the other thing to remember is we don't want to do a spiritual bypass. Does everybody know what a spiritual bypass is, right? Well, I'll just review it a little bit. That's when things happen in life. Our heartaches, there's another mass shooting, or something else that goes on in life, and we just go, oh, stuff it. It's all good. It's all good. And we just, because we're spiritual lights, we are spiritual lights, so it's all good. We're not acknowledging our feelings. I'm going to get into this, because there's two ways of looking at this. So sometimes, there are times where there's more at the end of a paycheck than a paycheck at the end of the month. These kinds of things happen, yeah? Mm-hmm. Where we lose someone passes away, and we feel the grief. And it's so important for us to really feel those feelings, to really deepen into acknowledging that, and not repressing and suppressing those feelings, but to really embody, this is our physical world that we live in. This is our experiences that we learn from. And let me tell you, learn from every single experience that takes place in your life. If you stay open to the fact that this really stinks, what has taken place, but I know there's a lesson in this for me. I know that the lesson will always come forth for you to learn, and you move forward and you expand more. The wisdom of the master teacher was not to be of it. In other words, to know that in the midst of all of this polarity and this physicality, that there is something so much greater than we are. This is the gift of these teachings. There is something, a higher power, God, infinite intelligence, spirit, whatever you want to call this creative force. To me, it's creative energy. The divine creative energy that has created all that is, was, and ever shall be. This is the creator of all good. And I know that that's existing right why and how I'm having this human physical experience. That's the beauty of these messages. To be in the world, but don't be of it. When we can get to that spot. And we will get to that spot. The more we embrace the spiritual qualities of the divine. So, not being of this world means in the midst of that polarity, you know that there really is only one power for good. No matter what. You're not doing the spiritual bypass. You're acknowledging, you're feeling those feelings. You're acknowledging them. But you're knowing at the same time, in the midst of pain and chaos or whatever it is, that there is a higher power working for you, in you, and as you. That's being in the world, but also at the same time not of it. And personally, I am eternally grateful to know this. I feel lucky. I feel so lucky to be able to, because there's so many people that do not. They have their beliefs, and that's all good, and that's their business. And I honor everyone's belief. But to me, it's been such a blessing to know that there is a power for good, and that power is within me. And it's within each and every person, all of the time. It's omnipresent, omnipotent. It is always, always present, all powerful, all knowing. So, I think that the whole idea of luck is false. And here I have a good analogy. I have a good analogy for being able to be in the world but not of it. Think of it like a door jamb, okay? Door jamb. It stands solid, it stands stationary and strong, even though the door keeps moving back and forth. The door may swing a little, it may swing a lot, it may slam violently shut, it may be flung open, but the door jamb stays still. It is immutable. It stands still. And that is a great analogy for being in this world but not of it. And the polarity of we can be swayed off center so easily. Can we not?
Yes.
I know I can. I'll speak for myself. I can be swayed right off center. But to come back to it, to always come back to the fact that this is a physical, temporary experience here. I acknowledge it, I honor it, I'm grateful for it, but I know my divine truth. It's not this body. It's that spirit within me that is eternal. And that's what I know for each and every person here. And each and every person everywhere, even if they don't want me to know it or not, I can still know it. I might not tell them it because we don't proselytize in Science of Mind. We don't proselytize and this is the only way, the true way of saving, because there's nothing to save us from. Nothing. We were not born in sin. That was the first lie that was ever taught to us. We were born in innocence. Beautiful innocence. So that's the spiritual foundation for our work this month with this whole concept of luck. And the scientific study, as I said before, was done in this course of 10 years with thousands of volunteers. And some of them considered themselves lucky and some unlucky. And this man, Richard Wiseman, he wrote a book called The Luck Factor. And out of that body of research, he concluded that there are 4 simple attitudes that are proven to help you increase your luck. And to me, it's choice. Good, bad, negative, positive, those kind. That's what luck means. What am I choosing to really be today, to show up as, to believe? So today we're going to look at one concept. And this is lucky people. We're going to still use the word till we get to the end. Lucky people expect good fortune. Lucky people expect good fortune. Or, to fit the title of today's talk, people who have good luck expect to luck out. We expect it. I expect to luck out all the time, but I know it's not really luck because I don't really use that word. So before going any further in this conversation about luck, we need to reiterate our conversation at the beginning of this time together when we use terms like luck, lucky, unlucky. We know that luck has nothing to do with it, right? Nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by luck. This is so important for us to know because it's giving us empowerment over our life. Ernest Holmes wrote this: we are not dependent upon chance, but upon the law of God. Or he wrote this: we are living in an intelligent universe which responds to our mental states, what we're thinking. To the extent that we learn to control these mental states, we shall automatically control our environment. We create our lives with our thinking, period. There are no excuses, truly. And that puts all the responsibility of life right back on us. How am I choosing to respond to this? Because stuff does happen, and stuff does stink. It does, it does. And at the same time, how am I going to choose to respond to it? That's the power from these teachings. That's the power, because we look And we don't look outside of ourselves, we look within ourselves to that innate intelligence that knows all. It knows, we know all that we need to know within us. What Dr. Wiseman refers to as lucky people, he really meant those who were aligned with Source, aligned with the infinite divine intelligence of all life, whether they are aware of it or not. I know many successful people, they don't know anything about Ernest Holmes or New Thought or metaphysics, but they got a consciousness. They know they're going to be successful. They know that only good is happening in their life. They just know it. And the law responds to what we think and what we speak. It responds to our emotions and it responds to our thoughts. The law is the law of God. It is the doer. It is the doer. So what he refers to, Wiseman, as good luck is simply based on those automatic workings of the law, on the consciousness of the individuals, on us. What you are thinking and focusing on. Whether you think you're thinking of a thing you want, and we're going to get into this, or thinking of the lack of it, is what you are manifesting in your life. Because lots of times we think we're thinking of what we really, this is what I expect, I really want, but we're really in the lack of it. It's not here. This is what I really want. And then watch those. That's why this workshop today is going to be so great. Those subconscious beliefs that are always operating within us, that we've developed, and they don't serve us anymore. They're not good, bad. But they can hinder us from aligning with the truth of our being. And you've probably heard this expression. We don't always get what we desire, but we always get what we expect. And that means our deep down expectations. I know most of you, if you're like me, are thinking of the Rolling Stones song. You know, you don't always get what you need, but if you try sometime, you might find you get what you need. Oh boy, I didn't write it
You
down.
always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need.
You get what you need. What I'm saying, you get what you expect. What you expect in life. What you expect. And as I say all of the time, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe anyone else. Try it for yourself. Try it for yourself. And I think one of the greatest stories about expectation is this. And I did tell this a couple of years ago, so it's a little story. There was a small town that had historically been dry. But then a local businessman decided to build a tavern. The congregation from the local church was concerned and planned an all-night vigil to ask God to intervene. Shortly thereafter, lightning struck the bar and it burned to the ground. The owner of the bar sued the church, claiming that the prayers of the congregation were responsible. People do this. Responsible. But the church hired a lawyer to argue this in court, that they were not responsible. And after his initial review of the case, the presiding judge, a man of great wisdom, stated, no matter how this case comes out, one thing is obvious. And they asked what that was, and the judge said, it is evident that the tavern owner believes a lot more in the power of prayer than the churchgoers. Think about that. He believed the power of their prayer could put him out of business. He probably had a stronger faith than the people doing the prayer. You always get what you expect. Be careful with what, just clear the mind, do a mind check. New Thought author Eric Butterworth, who I love, wrote this: you do not receive what you want or even what you pray for. You receive what you expect. Most of us expect so little. Most of us go through life holding a small tin can under Niagara Falls of God's plenty.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
I like that.
This manifests as a string-saving, make-do, can't afford it consciousness. I can't afford it. Instead of just saying, I choose not to spend my money, or I choose not to do this. I can't afford it. I go back to, it is marginal living, Butterworth writes, at best. We prepare for problems and are rarely disappointed. Oh yeah, but if this happens, well, this, we prepare for them. So what are we doing? We're creating them. We are in tune with the infinite instead of the, then we're in tune with the indefinite instead of the infinite. We're not aligned with source. We are practicing the absence. We are not practicing the presence of God. The absence of, if we believe the source is all giving, all good, all of the time, my needs are always met and more, and more. If we truly believe that, I've proven it to myself. The universe will provide, and the universe is the source of all good. But what if, here's another, what if what you are really expecting still doesn't happen? Right? What about that? Does that mean there's a flaw in the system that we call immutable, infallible? There is something that is even deeper than expectations. The difference between saying the words and expecting them to bring whatever it is, and being an embodiment of the idea. This takes it deeper. What does that mean? Being an embodiment of what it is you desire in your life. Holmes talks about this in Science of Mind, page 176. He writes this: one who is always distraught cannot give a good treatment for peace. So there must not only be an image in the mind of the one who is giving the treatment, that's prayer, for those that don't know, but there must be an appreciation of what the image means before the image can reflect itself. Otherwise, it is a word and not an embodiment. There's a great difference between the two. Act as if. Embody it. Get the feeling of what it is you wish to experience in your life, and keep yourself focused as much as possible on the embodiment. Know what you want and why you want it. What do you want to feel from this manifestation? And just feel it anyway. Feel it anyway. Most quoted Science of Mind verse is this one. It's from the book. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For our thoughts go into a medium, that's the law, that is infinite in its ability to do, it's the doer, and to be. By thinking, we can bring into our experience whatsoever we desire, if we think correctly, and become a living embodiment of our thought. Anything I have ever manifested, I have energetically felt it first. I have energetically got the feeling of what it is I would like in my life. So it's whatever, and it can be anything. It's infinite. Remember, this is an infinite, universal force that we're talking about that created all that is. There's nothing outside of this oneness, this power. And there are no caps to it. There's nothing to keep it small. You've seen people break records, athletes especially, that that people said, that's impossible. That's impossible, and you see what happens when the desire, the expectation, and the embodiment are all aligned. They manifest it and set new records. We can do the same. We can do the same. So the first attitude the science has proven to have that will increase our, I have to do quotation, luck, is to expect the best. And then I will add, and then to embody it, to fully own it, to feel it, to act as if. And now let me leave you with the power of another story. This is of positive expectations and embodiment in your own life and in the lives of others. It's the story of a teacher. I like this story. I love these little stories. I like this one. You'll like this, all teachers in the room will like this. It's the story of a teacher who had a new room of students, and next to their name was a number. 141, 145, 158, 156, etc., etc. The teacher thinks the numbers are the students' IQs. So she is so excited that she's finally in a room full of geniuses. Right? She treats them like geniuses. She respects them. She gives them challenging work. She nurtures them and guides them throughout the entire year. And she expects them to excel. At the end of the school year, the principal comes to see her and he asks her, what in the world did she do with those students? And she says, what do you mean? The students all got A's and B's in all of their work, the principal said. And she said, well, it's easy when you give me a room full of such smart kids. Smart kids, the principal said. Those weren't smart, those are the worst of the worst. Those were the most challenged kids you could possibly have. And she said, I don't understand. Next to their names, 145, 158, 141, all of these numbers. And he said, no, that wasn't their IQs. That was their locker numbers. So, brings it home. What do we expect? What do we expect, right? So let's get out there and live our lives and know that we can expect the highest good in our lives. We can expect clarity. We can expect infinite possibilities. We can expect our highest and best good is always taking place, and then embody it. What does it feel like to be in that place of what it is you desire? What does it really feel like? Because that, my friends, is what we manifest. So it is.
Yeah.